Recently, a Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater remake has been announced, so it would be a good idea to look back at the original Snake Eater. But while many are talking about the OG or Subsistence or HD versions, no one is talking about the 3DS version, except this guy. It's a shame, because the 3DS version has some value and has many features that'll probably be present in the remake.
But why? Well, because Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater on the 3DS in its own way is a reimagining of the original Snake Eater with a whole new content and controls and a bunch of other shit that kind of makes it, in my opinion, a little bit better than the original Snake Eater. But it's not perfect. There is some problems and flaws and a whole lot of shit that it does kind of bad. Metal Gear Solid takes place in the beautiful jungles of Soviet Russia, because we all know Soviet Russia is known for their jungles. I wonder if it was supposed to take place in Vietnam, but they already had assets and levels and stuff made when they had to change it. I don't know. It's just a theory. The problem with Snake Eater on the 3DS is how do you actually play it? You can't buy it on the eShop anymore since it's closed. And physical copies are expensive as hell. You can get them for like over $100 sometimes. Well, luckily I already have my copy when I first played it. But how are we going to record it? Well, the problem with the 3DS, it's a pain in the ass to record without a capture card. I could use my phone, but that's a whole lot of dog shit, so let's not do that. So I'm going to emulate it.
Now, I'm going to compare it to the Xbox 360 HD version running on the Xbox Series S, because the HD version is probably the most accessible way to play Metal Gear Solid 3 until the Master Collection releases. It's not much different from the original aside from looking a little nicer. When you first get into the game, you can see some differences, and that's the graphics. On the 3DS, models have more detail and look a little different, but the textures are muddier than the HD version. Supposedly, they don't look different enough to notice until you really look. I never noticed it, but I mean, if you had them side by side, you probably could. But more importantly, Metal Gear Solid 3DS has a low frame rate, running around 20 FPS on the already low 3DS resolution 400 by 240, while the HD version runs at a buttery smooth 60 FPS at 720p. On the 3DS footage, I doubled the resolution so it's bearable for you to watch. Keep that in mind. The frame rate on the 3DS it's fine, I guess, but since it's a slower paced game, it's playable. It's annoying, but it's fine. But the resolution is the real problem. On the 3DS, ironically, the guards are hard to see on the small screens, but in the HD version, you can actually see the bastards before they see you. There have been a few changes in the gameplay, which helps massively. They added motherfucking crouch walking. Holy shit, that makes the gameplay way better. In the original Snake Eater, you can only outright run or slowly crawl. Snake Eater on the 3DS adds some other stuff too. You can also move and shoot while you're aiming, which is awesome. The 3DS version also has this neat feature where you can take pictures and turn them into camouflages, which sounds useless at first, but without spoiling anything, you can cheese the last boss fight by taking a picture of something in white. And also, since the 3DS has a 3D mode, it's cool to play the game in 3D. Unfortunately, I only have a 2DS, so I don't have the privilege to see Eva's tits in 3D. Anyway, Snake Eater 3D also changed the controls. Obviously, the 3DS does not have the same buttons as a DualShock 2. We're going to talk about the controls, but since each platform has different face buttons, make it easier, I'll call them by the cardinal directions: north, south, east, west. The OG Snake Eater feels like they're still using the original PS1 controllers and stuff the new stuff in. It's fine, it's not bad, it's just weird. For example, to shoot, you have to press west and release to shoot, just like in Metal Gear Solid 1. To aim down the sights, you have to hold the right bumper and to go to first person mode, and then you have to hold west and release. But in 3DS, to aim and ready the weapon, just press the left trigger, just like in any other modern shooter, including Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker. Since there isn't a second analog stick on the 3DS, you look with the face buttons and use the D-pad for actions, like Peace Walker. Unless you're lucky enough to have a Circle Pad Pro, then the controls feel like Metal Gear Solid 4, either of which is loads better than the original Snake Eater controls. Yeah, the controls are very different between the two. The OG controls are usable, but the 3DS controls are nicer. The 3DS has a touchscreen, which you wouldn't think would do much in Snake Eater, but that couldn't be more wrong. One of the problems with the original game is you spend a lot of time in menus. Menu to change camo, menu to change gun, menu to eat, menu to heal. The touchscreen does all that, making it easier and faster. It also shows your health bar and map, which clears up a lot of space on the already tiny main screen.
So how does this all come together to affect the full game? Well, to summarize, there's less game bullshit, but there's more 3DS bullshit. You know, you got crouch walking, you got all the polish, all the nice stuff Snake Eater 3DS has, but it's on the 3DS. You got a tiny ass screen, you got tiny buttons, you got a lot of small shit that's a pain in the ass to deal with. So why is there any value to this game at all? Well, you see this value when you emulate it.
I already glossed over emulation on the 3DS version of Snake Eater. It's not perfect, and there are a few problems and some jank, but once you have it working, it's awesome. Emulation fixes every problem and improves Snake Eater on the 3DS. You can raise the resolution frame rate, we can use a bigger screen, and we can have the more modern control scheme, the third-person aim, and the crouch walking. It's awesome, and when we see Snake Eater like this, we can see the potential that the remake has, and I'm willing to bet the remake will feel very similar to this. It feels like the controls from Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5 are on Snake Eater. It's amazing. It's a breath of fresh air.
Metal Gear Solid on the 3DS is important. It points out many ways to improve the original Metal Gear Solid games. And while it's not perfect, it fixes a lot of problems that the original has. I'm not saying Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, the original, is bad, but it's starting to show its age. And with the remake coming out, it's a perfect opportunity to try new stuff and make an already fantastic game way better. Oh, different lighting setup. It's almost as if I forgot to record this part and had to do this later. Well, thank you for watching. This video was a lot of fun to make, and I'm definitely making more videos in the style of this. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like and all that YouTube shit. So, yeah, see you later.